So you want to take good photos like these take, but you don't have a DSLR or mirrorless. All you have is your phone. Well, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks that'll help you up your phone photo game. Now, these are not all for iPhone, so stick around. You might learn something. Will Simpson here, and welcome to Exploring Photography. Today, we're actually gonna go over a few tips and tricks that will help you take better phone photography, primarily with the iPhone, but this does apply to other phones too. But first, I wanna introduce you to George. I don't know if you've been watching my Instagram stories, but he has been featured in a few of them because this is my African lion, and I'm actually in Africa right now. So my videos and photos are going to you're gonna see a little bit of a change. But besides that, let's get into the video. The first thing that is important to know is the grid on your camera. So if you open up your phone and you go to the camera, if you don't see this grid here, all you have to do is go into settings and then scroll down to camera and then select on the grid. That'll put this 3-line grid, which is actually the rule of thirds, which simply says, if you place the subject on the intersecting points, you get a more appealing photo, or if you place the horizon on one of the lines, you'll get a more appealing photo rather than the middle. So that's one thing that'll help you up your phone photo game. The next thing is the f-stop. Now this is primarily for iPhone, I think 10, 11, 12 plus. I'm not sure if Galaxies and whatnot have this feature. So if you open up your camera, go into portrait, and then if you line up your subject like you're taking a picture, you can, in the top right, click the F button, and then you can adjust the f-stop from high, like 16, or to low, to 1.8 or something like that. Or you can just have it as standard. Now, once you've taken the photo, go into photos, and if you want to change it or you didn't get the f-stop right, go to edit, and in the top left, you'll see F and whatever you shot it at. If you click that, you can then adjust it again from high or to low, and you can get it exactly how you want it. Now again, I think this is just an iPhone special feature for portrait mode. Okay, the third tip, and this is a really, really easy one to do. It's normal times when you're taking a photo, when you're out and you're just snapping photos, you're just just taking photos just at eye level. Now, if you wanna really up your photo game, add that foreground, really create some pop in your image, flip your phone around, throw it into wide angle if you have it, or sometimes this works in the zoom feature. Actually, however, it doesn't matter. But by flipping it around, you get the camera lower to the ground so you actually get a more dynamic photo. You can then raise the camera up so it's at an angle. So you're not only getting the foreground, but you're getting more of a broad scope in the photo. It's much more dynamic, it's much more interesting, and will help you take better photos. Now, the fourth one is kind of a funny one, and this is to remember to look at the camera, not at yourself. 9 times out of 10, I see this all over Facebook, Instagram, social media all the time. When you open up your camera and you flip it around to selfie mode and you're looking at yourself, you're not looking at the camera or at the viewer. If I'm looking at the monitor, I'm not looking at you. So if I'm looking at myself and I'm seeing, ooh, how do I look? Let's zoom in a little. Oh, can't zoom in on the front screen. But if I'm looking at myself and I take a picture, well, that picture, it looks like I'm not looking at you. So you have to remember that the camera is here, not here. So when you take a photo, look at the camera and make sure the people who you're taking a selfie with also look at the camera. It will greatly up your photos. I don't know, this drives me insane when I see this. So it's a simple fix, Just look at the camera, guys. Don't look at yourselves. You guys look great. You don't need to look at yourselves. Look at who's looking at you. Okay, the next option in taking photos is a really, really cool feature that some people know, but a lot of people don't, and it's using the Pano Mode. Normally, when you take a photo, you just, snap a photo, click, 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 click. But if you want to get a much more dynamic photo, switch your phone to Pano Mode, turn it sideways, and then click the button and follow up. When you're done with the photo, in the photo, and you get a much larger, more dynamic photo, so much more information in the photo, so much more depth and broadness to the photo that it just allows you to get a lot nicer picture than just taking the camera, switching it to wide angle or zoom in or whatnot. And you can actually do the wide angle or zoom feature if you have it on your iPhone in Pano Mode. So you get these huge, crazy dynamic photos that look amazing. And the final feature that I find a lot of fun, and it kind of replaces the old age Hyperlapse Mode. If you don't know what those are, a time lapse is when you set up a camera and you put it on and it films, takes a bunch of photos, and then it pushes them all together, so it shows a lot of time passing by in a quick amount of time. Time lapse. A hyperlapse is the same thing, but it has movement. Back in the day, well, I should say today, to do a hyperlapse with your camera, you take a step, you take a picture. You take a step, you take a picture. You take a step, you take a picture. So on and so forth, and then you stitch them all together in editing software, and then it's a very fast transition of time, but also movement. With the iPhone, it's very simple. Simply take your phone, switch it to time-lapse mode, start it, and then start walking towards the item, and then walk away or whatever, and you create a hyperlapse. It's super easy, and it replaces the age-old time of spending 3 hours to create a hyperlapse that may or may not work because it might not be stable or not. I've done that. Spent 2 hours trying to create a hyperlapse and it came out crappy. So this is a super quick and easy way, and it makes it a lot of fun to like show cool buildings or just a cool effect or anything like that, which you can use to create very interesting stories if you'd like, or just have fun with it. And the final thing is how to edit these photos. Now, I did a whole video on Lightroom Mobile, which I highly recommend. It gives a lot of features for editing your photos, and it is free. It isn't the full version, but the full version is only $4.99 a month. Again, you can get the free version and edit your photos just amazingly. Now, if you don't have those, two other apps that I highly recommend are, one is Snapseed, and Snapseed is actually really cool. It has a lot of tools and features. Let's go ahead and open Snapseed here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap open a photo, open from device, scroll down here to this photo that I took earlier. Now, the first thing it opens up is looks. Now, you can just change it and it'll update and it'll give you all these different looks. It's basically just adding a filter. So let's go to current and check, and then we're gonna click tools. There are a ton of tools. The first thing is tune image. So what does tune image do? If you look at the top, it shows brightness. So if I slide left and right, I can change the brightness. If I swipe up, you'll notice you have all of these. Now, you have to be touching the screen for this screen to stay, but you can also hit the bottom. In the bottom, you see those little sliders. Hit that, brings up this screen. You don't have to be touching the screen anymore. So let's go ahead and adjust this photo. Let's up the contrast a little. Yep. Let's go ahead and up the saturation just a little. Let's go ahead and lower the highlights and raise the shadows just a little bit and add some warmth to the photo. Okay, good. If you want to see the before and after, top right, just push and hold before, after, before, after. All right, let's adjust that brightness and get that back to normal. Now on the left side, you see the histogram. If you press it, you get the bars. If you press it again, you get the histogram. That just shows darks on the left and lights on the whites. It helps you adjust the photo so you get properly exposed. Now, once you're done, just press the check mark. That little magic wand is auto enhance. It'll just automatically do it. But I think this looks good. If I push on the photo before, after, not much difference, very subtle. But press the check mark, then we're gonna go to tools again, scroll down to vignette. We're gonna add a slight vignette. Again, you're just swiping left and right to add it. Check mark when done. Let's go to tools. You can adjust the curves, which is great. So we're gonna lower the shadows a little bit, raise the highlights, get some contrast there. And then this little circle right here allows you to adjust the reds, greens, blues, and luminance, which is the brightness. So let's go ahead and adjust the blues a little. Let's take out a little bit of the blues. There we go, not much. Now we're not making any major changes. It just allows you to spice up the photo and get it to your flavor. You can definitely go crazy with this. If you click the tools, there are a ton of tools that you can really get involved with this. So play around with the app. It's awesome and it is free. Okay, once you're done with the image, we're gonna export it, save as a copy because we don't want to ruin the original photo. Once that's done, we're going to switch to another app called Lens Distortions. Now this is a really cool app. There is a free version and there is a paid version. The paid version gets a lot of extra features, but I just like it for the sun flares. So we're gonna scroll up here, we're gonna open that same photo that we just did in Snapseed, and we're gonna scroll over to the classic light hits, and we're gonna add one of these awesome light flares here. You see all these, it says join, unlimited, and all that. We're just gonna use this free one here. We're gonna move it to where the sun is, and put it right there. Actually, I don't like that one. We're gonna use this one, get some of the sun rays, add that, and then we're going to click it, the actual filter, and that'll give us the ability to adjust it. So let's adjust the softness. Let's make it a little softer because it is a little bright. Good, check mark. And then we're gonna lower the brightness because that is a little overdone. Good, check mark. The opacity, let's lower that just a shade so it's not too crazy. And you can adjust all of these different things. You can duplicate it. And once you're done, just hit the check mark and boom, there's your photo. Now press the export and JPEG Max export image, and that'll export it to your camera roll. So let's swipe on over there and there you go. There's your final image. So there are a couple of ways to just really make your photos stand out. Play around with these apps because I just showed you a very limited scope of what they can do. Definitely have fun, but they can, I'm sure you can create some incredible edits with them, and they're all free, so why not go to town with them? But that's it for this video. I know this video is gonna help you take some awesome phone photos, so make sure to tag me on Instagram if you post them. Like the video if it was helpful. Go ahead and comment if you have any questions or if you recommend another app or anything like that. And subscribe if you haven't already. I do videos like this every Monday at 7 p.m. Otherwise, I will see you guys in Africa because we are gonna have some fun and I'm gonna meet George's real life version, I hope. That'd be fun. I'll see you then.